What are the chances that two companies that just so happen to be locked in a multi-year lawsuit, suddenly decide to launch two brand new IPs in the exact same genre at the exact same time? Personally, I think the odds of that happening by coincidence are incredibly slim. Nintendo and Pocketpair both just revealed farming-like sim games, Nintendo with Pokopia, a Pokemon farming spin-off, and Pocketpair with Palfarm, a farming take on their hit Palworld. And the whole situation feels just a little too suspicious. Now, to be fair, Nintendo did drop their trailer for Pokopia first. It's colorful, it's Pokemon, and it taps into something that fans have actually been asking about for years, a cozy Pokemon farming experience. And when I saw this, I was genuinely excited. I was like, oh, look at Nintendo actually listening to their community, actually putting out something that people have asked for, possibly even taking advantage of the success from Animal Crossing. Then a week later, Pocketpair unveils Palfarm, their take on the farming life sim genre using the universe that they created with Palworld. And the crazy part about this to me is that Palfarm looks way further along in development than Pokopia. It looks far more polished, obviously better graphics because it's not running on the Switch. It seems to run smoother, has more features, and it just looks like to me a project that is deeper into development. There is no possible scenario in my mind that Pocketpair saw what Nintendo dropped for Pokopia and were like, we're just gonna smash together a quick trailer with this. There's no way. So now we've got two very similar games announced back to back by companies currently battling in court. One of those companies, Nintendo, is notorious for being incredibly aggressive with their lawsuits and have already proven themselves to be absolute scumbags when it's come to their lawsuit against Pocketpair. For a while there, they were already on the brink of losing their lawsuit. Then they win two crazy patents in America that they should have never been awarded. And now they're releasing a game that looks less polished to be a direct competitor to someone they are currently in a lawsuit against that they want to absolutely crush. Now, to really understand why I am a bit suspicious, we need to rewind a little bit. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company have been going after Pokemon ever since Palworld blew up. Millions of players flooded in, and a lot of them noticed, hey, some of these creature designs look awfully close to Pokemon. And a lot of the die-hard Pokemon fans actually demanded that Nintendo sue Palworld. I was definitely on the side of thinking that there was no real reason to be able to sue Palworld. There have been tons of games that have been very similar to Pokemon games for decades, and quite frankly, Pokemon has very much copied other people since they first began. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company have just been the most successful at doing it, until Palworld released. Now, Nintendo's reputation for defending their IP is legendary. They've shut down fan projects, ROM sites, even modders. So I guess we all weren't terribly surprised, especially after the fan outcry, that Nintendo decided to sue Pocketpair. Now, this lawsuit has now stretched on for years, and when companies sue each other, they enter a process called discovery, which means sharing documents, roadmaps, and internal notes if and only if they are relevant to the case. Now, typically unreleased projects wouldn't necessarily fall into this discovery, but Pocketpair would only have to disclose this info on new projects if Nintendo convinced the court those projects were substantially related to the alleged infringement. Example, if Palfarm reused allegedly infringing Pokemon-like designs, which they did because they're using everything from Palworld to make Palfarm, or if Pocketpair themselves brought up Palfarm during the court proceedings as part of their defense, essentially to argue its distinctiveness. So during these disclosure proceedings, there is a solid chance that Nintendo's lawyers discovered Pocketpair was working on a game called Palfarm. But even then, if their lawyers did discover this, these disclosures would be to the court and Nintendo's lawyers under protective order. That means Nintendo's business side wouldn't be able to see it, only the legal team, and they'd be barred from using it competitively. Now, what this means legally is all of this information is sealed under what's called a protective order. That means Nintendo's dev teams, the people making Pokemon games, aren't supposed to see it, only the lawyers. But come on, let's be honest, this is Nintendo. Also, we're all human. Do we really think there's zero chance that something quote unquote slipped? People talk, hints get dropped, executives have meetings. It doesn't take much for a piece of information to accidentally slip through. And with the timing of Pokopia and Palfarm, it feels like maybe that's exactly what happened. Is it possible, However, statistically unlikely that two companies locked in a multi-year lawsuit just so happen to be working on two different IPs in the exact same genre. Sure, absolutely, there is a chance that that could have happened. And Nintendo did reveal Pokopia first, so on paper, that makes them look like they're the originator. But when you compare the two trailers, in my opinion, Palfarm looks like it's way further along. Obviously, it's going to have richer graphics because it's not releasing on the Nintendo Switch. The animations look better, and it looks like it has a lot more systems already working. Meanwhile, Pokopia, to me, still kind of looks like an early prototype. And we know Nintendo is notorious for doing this with Pokemon games in the past. Now, could they still have both been separately working on this on their own? Absolutely. Do I think Nintendo could possibly be rushing forward Pokopia to be the first to market to directly compete with Palfarm? Absolutely. So to me, things don't seem to line up. If Nintendo's game was first to be revealed, why does it look like it's still kind of in the concept stage? I could be wrong, maybe it's just because it's on the Nintendo Switch too, I don't know. While Pocketpair's game looks practically ready to ship. One possibility is that Nintendo wanted to get something, anything, out in the public eye once they knew Pocketpair had a competing project, even if it wasn't fully ready. Just showing a trailer could reframe the narrative, hey, we had the farming idea first. And you know what, to be fair, when I saw Pokopia, I was excited. I was like, you know, they're taking advantage of something people have always wanted. It is logical that Nintendo would eventually do this. However, once I started looking at the two trailers, I am far more excited for Palfarm than I am for Pokopia. And here's the thing, we know Nintendo has a reputation for playing aggressively and, quite frankly, really dirty when it comes to Pocketpair. They go hard to protect their IP. So would it really be out of character for them to use information from a lawsuit to accelerate an announcement? Maybe not. Even if it's not directly copying, just knowing that a competitor has something in the works could be enough to nudge them into action. Imagine the conversation in a Nintendo boardroom. Pocketpair is cooking a farming game? Fine, we'll announce ours first. Doesn't matter if it's not finished, we just need to get out ahead. It's not technically illegal, but it's definitely cutthroat. And honestly, from a business standpoint, it makes sense. Pocketpair is a tiny studio, Nintendo is a giant. If both games exist, guess which one's going to dominate headlines? The official Pokemon title. When Pokopia eventually launches, even if it is weaker, it'll steal attention simply because it has the Pokemon brand. So where does that leave us? Officially, Nintendo revealed Pokopia first. But in my opinion, Pocketpair's game feels further along, and Nintendo's timing seems a little bit strange with their patents having just passed in the US. The lawsuit still looming in the background, it's not hard to imagine information slipping through the cracks. Maybe Nintendo used legal discovery to get an edge. Maybe they simply rushed an announcement once they caught wind of the competition. Either way, the result is the same. Pocketpair once again finds itself staring down the most powerful brand in gaming. But what do you think? Did Nintendo really jump the gun because of insider knowledge, or is it just a coincidence of timing?